welcome back to Just Another Stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and if you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do the half double crochet stitch. And we're first going to start off with the slip knot. And you have the yarn, the loose end, in your left hand. In your right hand, you have the yarn that's attached to the skein. And you're going to take what's in your right hand, place it on top of the left like this. So the right yarn is on top of the left. And you make a little circle. You pull this yarn back here through the circle and you tighten it. And if you need more practice on the slip knot, I do have a tutorial that goes more in detail on the slip knot. So you're going to place your yarn on your hook, and we're going to do that infamous chain stitch again. Okay, so we're going to chain 10, 1, 2, 3. If you notice your hook's on top, you wrap it around, turn your hook down, and go through the loop. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you need more practice on the chain stitch, I do have a tutorial on the chain stitch also. 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And we're going to count our stitches again, because I want to make sure you know how to count stitches. Okay, and if you notice, they're shaped like little hearts. You have the knot right here, but the knot doesn't count. Okay, so now we're going to count the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And this is what's attached to the hook. And if you recall, this doesn't count as a stitch. Okay, and when you learned how to do the single crochet stitch, when you started off your row, you skipped 1 stitch. With half double crochet, you're going to skip 2 stitches. And if you recall, on the back side, that's where you're going to be doing your work for the first row connecting to the chain stitch. And you have a circle with a bore. So you're going to skip those first 2 bores and work into the 3rd stitch. Okay, and the difference with the half double crochet, you're going to start it off with a yarn over. And you're going to have to kind of hold it to make sure that it stays in place. And you're going to go through that 3rd bore, okay, where you have 3 yarns on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, okay, pull your hook down, go through that base stitch, okay. You're going to yarn over again and pull through all 3 stitches. Hold up, it's being difficult. Okay, there you go. Now you have your first stitch. You're going to yarn over again. And if you're ever not sure where to stick your hook, if you notice how it pulls right here, that's the stitch you just had worked into. So you're going to go to the next bore. Okay. And you got 3 yarns. Yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over again, and you're going to pull through all 3 stitches. Okay, so you now have 2 stitches done. Yarn over again, go through the next bore, yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3 stitches. So now we're going to yarn over again and go through the next bore, yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3 stitches. Okay, so yarn over, go through the bore, and I'm not very good with the first row working into the chain, so as you notice, I kind of have to force it. Yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over, go through all 3, yarn over, go through the bore, yarn over, go through that first base stitch, yarn over, oops, and go through all 3 stitches. Yarn over, go through the bore, yarn over, go through that base stitch, yarn over, and go through all 3. Yarn over, go through the the bore, yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And you now have your first row completed. Now that we've finished with the row, we're going to count our stitches to make sure that we have the right amount of stitches. And as you recalled, we skipped 2 stitches. So you're going to have 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and now I want to show you what the stitch looks like. You're going to have 2 yarns going up and down. Then you're going to have a yarn going kind of slanted sideways, and then you're going to have the 2 bores on top. And that's how you can recognize what your stitches look like. You got the 2 lines and the 2 bores. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2. In single crochet, you would do chain 1 at the end of a row, but with half double crochet, you're going to chain 2. So 1, oops, and 2. Okay, now you're going to turn your work, place your little stitch marker. That stitch marker is your best friend. Okay, and now let's yarn over, and we're going to skip those 2 stitches you just chained. So you skip 2, you work into the 3rd stitch. Okay, and you're going to have it go through both the bores, yarn over, go through the base stitch, yarn over, and you go through all 3 stitches. Okay, so you're going to yarn over again, go through the next stitch, and remember you're going through both the bores, yarn over, pull through the base stitch, yarn over, and go through all 3 yarns. Yarn over, go through that next stitch, and you're going through both the bores. And one thing you're going to see sometimes in crochet, sometimes a pattern will call for you to go like through the front loop only or the back loop only. But typically, if it doesn't specify that, you go through both loops. Okay. You do your yarn over, you pull through that base stitch, you yarn over again, turn that hook down, and go through all three. Okay, yarn over, go through both the bores, okay, yarn over again, go through that base stitch, yarn over and pull through all three stitches. So yarn over, go through both the bores, yarn over, pull through that base stitch, yarn over and pull through all three. Okay, so yarn over, go through both the bores, yarn over, go through that base stitch, yarn over and pull through all three. Okay, yarn over, go through both the bores, yarn over, pull through the base stitch, yarn over and pull through all three. Okay, yarn over, go through both bores, yarn over, oops, go through the base stitch, yarn over, and go through all three. Okay. So now you just completed the second row. And you're going to do your chain 2 at the end of a row with half double crochet. You're going to chain 2. Okay, you turn your work and you place your stitch marker. Okay, yarn over, and you're going to skip those 2 stitches you just chained and go into that 3rd stitch and continue doing your half double crochet. And I want to point out the main difference between the single crochet and the half double crochet is before you start the stitch, you do the yarn over. Then you go through the base stitch, you yarn over again, and you pull it through the 3 loops. Okay? Where single crochet, you went through the stitch, you yarned over, pulled through the base stitch, yarn over again, and went through 2 loops. So that's the difference between those 2 stitches. And when you hit the end of the row, you're always going to chain 2 with a half double crochet. A single crochet, you only chain 1. Then you turn your work, place your stitch marker, and with half double crochet, you'll skip 2 stitches, and that's the 2 that you just chained, and work into the 3rd. Where with single crochet, you just have that 1 chain stitch that you skip and you work into the 2nd stitch. But that is how you do the half double crochet stitch.